All right, welcome back, everybody. It's going to be a recap for this Monday, July 24, 2023. Let's take a look at the indices first. Had kind of a rough day in the indices. Did pretty well on the mini Russell, which is RTY, and also did pretty well on the mini NASDAQ. But what hurt me was the E-mini S&P. We'll look at here in just a minute. But on the RTY, pretty straightforward trade. HF3 short. Probably wasn't in this trade more than about 5 minutes or so. Hit profit target, went ahead and got out. Did not re-enter on RTY. Also had a very similar trade on the mini Nasdaq, but the mini Nasdaq had a buy first, of which I took a loss, reversed, and I did add to that. So I came out really nice on the mini Nasdaq, but what hurt me was the E-mini S&P. So let's take a look at that trade real quick. All right, here's the ES trade, the E-mini S&P. Unfortunately, did get triggered kind of late on the move, but nonetheless, it was an HF3 short as well. But unlike the other shorts, it did turn around, so I was surprised it did not finally hit its target. I was looking for a 45.66 target, didn't hit it. I went ahead and hit my stop, got out, and did not reverse. That was the it for me on the indices. I'm really trying to keep my indice trades down to the first several hours of the morning, and really don't want to carry it any later. If I do put any on, more than likely it's going to be at the end of the day, where you have that push usually at the end of the day. So you get quiet in the afternoon, then you pop back up. That's pretty much been a pattern for the indices for a long, long time. It's at least as long as I've been trading for 40 years. So it's kind of what I would expect. So want to really hit it first thing in the morning, and if I can't, then I'm typically going to get out unless I see a lot of really strong volume coming in. Then I might carry it a little bit further into the afternoon. But usually want to trade in the morning, get out, and then make it a day on the indices. Same thing with the commodities, but I didn't do any commodities today. Didn't do any gold, didn't do any silver, natural gas. Oh, I'm sorry, I did take a natural gas. Now, I am in a natural gas. I did put a natural gas trade on, and I will be getting out tomorrow on that. It is a buy. I did buy natural gas. I bought that this morning, and it just died. Just didn't go anywhere. So I'm not. I'm still riding that long into tomorrow. Okay, so did a little bit better in the stocks. Let's look at that, and then we can take a look at how we did overall for the day. All right, so I put a couple things on this morning during the first 30 minutes of trading. JDST, which I'm going to continue to carry overnight. So JDST is on. I did not exit JDST. So hopefully we'll see. If it have a strong day tomorrow, I may carry it for a few days. JDST being one of my favorites. And I like JDST because it tends to be just a really slow mover. So the other trade I put on this morning, if you were in the morning show with us, was SGMA. Now, SGMA came in shortly before the opening, around 9:40, something like that. It was an HF1 buy, so I had an HF1 buy, and quickly it went through 4 different levels. Now, you can't see them. These are real close. These 2 levels are really close. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Went through the 4 levels. I was watching it. It started to hesitate up here, if you recall, and I went ahead and exited. Really nice profit on SGMA. Now, one of the things is what I've learned is typically when you get out of these kind of strong moves, just leave them alone. Don't go back, jumping back in. You really don't need to. Let's see how it turned out. It wasn't because I typically they have that big move in the morning and then they just kind of fade and go sideways. So, you want to hit it in the morning. And once again, this is the kind of trade I've been talking about that I really like, because I like to get in right before the opening, get a nice little pattern, particularly in HF1. Watch that bind come in right after the opening, and then go ahead and take that profit. And I like to take the profit as it's moving up. Now, can't always do it. A lot of times you're waiting, and then it just falls pretty quickly. But I really like to sell this position, any position, when the market is still going up. Okay, you're going to get a better feel that way than waiting for it to hesitate. So I like to get that, selling that as its momentum is still going up. So no, you're not going to always catch the highs, but that's the way it is. You're never going to always catch the highs. You may get lucky. Most of the time you're going to leave some on the table, but that's okay. The problem with a lot of traders is they hold too long and they end up giving it all back. I've been guilty of that myself, but the key is that get disciplined, and when you have a nice profit, go ahead and get out. It hits these levels. Any sign that things are starting to slow down, and you have that little push up, go ahead and get out and just let it go, and try to leave it alone for the rest of the day. All right, let's see what else we did. Next stock. All right, so APLD also was a very nice trade. This thing coming until after 10 Eastern, came in around 10, I think it was 10:05, 10:07, something like that. Anyway, it was an HF3 buy, and I did have several targets based on Einstein, and but I didn't want to hold, so I went ahead and got out at the first level, which I show as a profit target. And then that was it. I did not get back into APLD. Once again, trying to get out when the momentum is going in my favor. Trying not to get greedy. I'm trying to trade, trying to catch these little pops in here and getting in and getting out, all right? Yes, sometimes you're going to go parabolic, but that's pretty rare, all right? So instead of holding, waiting for something to go parabolic and have it turn against you, it's best to just get out. Take bits and pieces of it, and those small little pieces are going to add up to a lot, all right? So I always tell people, even if you make $25 a day in a month, that's $1,000 extra dollars. Actually, it's more than that, depending on how much you trade. But if you, if $25, that's, $1,000, doesn't sound like much, $25 a day, but that's an extra $1,000 a month, okay? And most people can use an extra $1,000. So you don't have to get greedy in here, okay? To make big dollars, you have to have a big account, and most people don't have 100,000 plus in order to trade with large numbers. So you can work your way up to it, but you got to be extremely disciplined, very disciplined. It may take you a whole year to work that small account up, maybe less. Some people get lucky, but that's very, very rare. All right, usually it takes time. And you only want to add to your size as your account is growing, all right? And you don't want to start putting on crazy size when the market is going against you. So if you want to add on, I do have add-on points, but it's not like I'm going to start adding, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the 100 contracts to a trade, okay, trying to make up for the loss that I put on my first position. I want to add as the market is going in my favor. That's what I want to do. I want to add as the market is going in my favor. All right. Unless there's a really good reason to add on a dip, but I don't want to put too much size on it. Okay. So you want to add, once again, add as the market is going up, not as it's going against you. That is what most people do, and then you end up digging yourself in a big, big hole. All right. So that being said, let's take a look here and let's see how we did. All right, so overall, not a bad day, not a great day. Look at that E-mini S&P. That's the one that hurt me. Losing over $1,000. Yeah, $1,000 on that E-mini S&P. So not a good day on the E-mini S&P. Been tough, at least for me. E-mini is just not it's not following the crowd. I mean, I see the NASDAQ moving, I see the Russell moving, and see even that small down. For some reason, that E-mini has been hanging tight on a lot of these moves, and it just doesn't come down enough to hit target. But nonetheless, it will pick up. The E-mini has a history of doing that, so it's like all these markets, they can get quiet for a while. And what you do is you just move over to the other indices that have the action. So, once again, I always like Russell, always like trading the mini NASDAQ. This has always been really good markets for me, so we'll continue to watch those. And keep an eye on the E-mini. If I see things picking up again, I'm probably going to lay off of the E-mini here now for a few days, maybe a week or so. Like to see that activity start to pick back up again. But as far as the NASDAQ and the Russell, will continue to do that unless those slow down as well. So stock-wise, only had one really loser today, was PXMD. Just couldn't get it moving. But APLD, once again, probably my best trade of the day. Did a little bit of MRKR. This came in the afternoon, so that was an afternoon trade on MRKR. Actually, a pretty nice move. Didn't expect it to move that much. So it went very quick here. I was in it for probably a good 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, it started moving. So I got out of that. Once again, SGMA. That was one of the first trades we put on with JDST. Remember, JDST, I'm still carrying over until tomorrow. So that's why I don't see it as a closed out trade. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. I'll either get out tomorrow. I may hold it longer, depending on the action. And, of course, a little bit on BBIG. All right, that's it, folks. If you have any questions, please go to my YouTube channel, Innovative Trading Strategies. I'd appreciate it if you would also hit that subscribe and you also like button. That helps out the channel. I'll continue to do the first 30 minutes of my trading absolutely free for everybody, so you can kind of get a feel on how I trade. And then what I do is then I continue on in our live Discord channel where where I share my watch list on a day-by-day basis. We have an afternoon and a morning watch list. And we also continue to trade, and we start looking a little bit more at the Forex market. So I like trading currencies. So we start looking a little bit more at Forex. We keep an eye on everything else. If you see any additional movers, we'll take those in the morning, and then pretty much afternoon, pretty quiet for me. And then power hour, I will come back, and that's what my afternoon watch list is for. And we'll hopefully pick up a couple winners in the afternoon. All right. That's it. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.